Hello, patrons. That's not... wasn't put in the right place at all. I hope everyone's doing well. I've got a cough. Why? I've sat here for 10 minutes. Why? Sat here for 10 minutes. Not needing to cough. I need to cough. Anyway, lovely to see you all. Hope you're all doing well. I don't really think there's anything else to update you for. Still not well, in case you're interested. I was back at hospital again this week. I don't want... it all comes from the lung, blood and fluid on the lung, whatever it was I had a few weeks ago. Sometimes I had, like, it literally happened on Wednesday night. Yeah, it must have been Wednesday night. I couldn't even tell you what happened. All of a sudden, my body just woke me up, and it wasn't very happy at all. Had to take myself back to hospital. Luckily, I've got like a relationship with them now. So they know the deal, but it does suck, and it's very worrying. But hey, we'll get there in the end. Basically telling you that, so to always be transparent and honest as possible, but also, in case any kind of odd behavior happens, I had to cancel more podcast people this week. Although I did go out, and I got a little treat. You'll see later. It's going to go up as soon as I've done this to try and make up for it. But yeah, so some things are going to be just all over the place. Basically, that's the truth. But that's life. I'll be all right. I'll sort it out. Shout out to Nicky Nacho in the chat as well. Undead's here as well. Thanks for joining, guys. Let's ask some questions. Let us do it. Podcast in stone. With Brock announcing he's quitting SmackDown and coming for Raw to get revenge on Rey Mysterio, could there be a chance this is WWE swapping championships on Fox and USA? Possibly even changing the Universal title to be more on brand with SmackDown. Yeah, I think that's what they've done. I think that's it, really. I guess it doesn't really make a difference these days. There was a time when we had the WWE title and the World Heavyweight title, and it was clear the World Heavyweight title was the B one. But no, this time, I don't really think one is above the other. I don't even think world titles even mean that much anymore, but that was kind of the idea. Fox don't care. They wanted Bray Wyatt. Odd that they are happy for Brock Lesnar to go, but we'll see what happens with that one. But yeah, I would say for the foreseeable future, Universal will be on SmackDown and Raw. WWE will have Raw will have the WWE one. I don't really mind that. I think it makes no difference to me anyway. Talking about my personal opinion on it, I'm just like, don't care. We'll seem to blur into one. Brian Kemet. How weird. I was just having this conversation with someone. Does AEW need a mid-card belt to give folks further down the card something to compete for? I don't want them to be title heavy like WWE, but I think they need one more belt. Yeah, they do. The thing is, not yet. I think we're all, and we should do. I do the same, Brian. But we're all getting a little bit ahead of ourselves when it comes to where they should be, and we compare them to WWE, which is perfectly natural. I'm gonna have to have some water. I'll explain why in a minute. I just ate a load of spinach. When you eat a load of spinach, it get that weird feeling on your teeth. I'm struggling to talk. What is that? I'm gonna find out right now. Why? It's fun, this isn't it? Why do my teeth feel weird when there it is when eating spinach? Like, it comes up. I'm not the only person. Spinach teeth is is caused by the high quantities of oxalic acid. The oxalic crystals leak out from spinach as you chew, and they coat the teeth, which is what that gritty feeling is. It doesn't come. There we go. Is it bad for my teeth? I would like to know. No, this is boring. What we're doing. Actually helps build your teeth. Well, there you go. So I had to get that off my teeth. It was bothering me. Yes, they do need a mid-card title, especially for the likes of, at the moment, you'd say Puck, Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, Trent, I guess you could argue, maybe Orange Cassidy. You're right, but I don't think we need to introduce it yet. I think we need to have tentpoles, much like a marketing plan, that give fans something to be excited for. We don't need one right now. We certainly need one in sort of, say, 4 to 6 months, but a whole pay-per-view should be built around that. Don't even have the world title defended on that pay-per-view, so whoever wins that belt, it feels like a big deal. I feel like if we rush it, we may get into Intercontinental and US title territory, and we don't want to do that. Even the North American Championship down in NXT feels a little bit lost. Let's rewrite the rulebook, as we've been doing so far. So you're right, Brian, they do. I wouldn't introduce it till March next year, when you need a lift to give something to fight for. And it does make the world title more special if you only have that one belt on a brand. At least from a men's singles point of view. My man John Taggle Souza says, something I'd like to see from your YouTube channel is a vlog-style video of your journeys to different wrestling promotions and some of your training sessions or just even daily antics. And Aiden agreed with that, and so did Chris. All right, I can do that. I don't think I'll do much backstage, because even in small-town British wrestling, people don't like breaking kayfabe, man. We try and shoot load of stuff for kayfabe news, and they do not like it. I don't know why. It's cool, right? They do what they do. But I like the idea of going to promotions and whatever I can film. Training sessions is harder, because obviously I don't train by myself. There's about 20, 30 other people there, and I don't think it would be fair to them. But yeah, sure. I like that. Consider it on the menu. Garth Jackson. Hey, Simon, hope you're good. I am. Hope you're good as well. Just wondered what your take on the whole Jim Cornette debacle is. He's been called out lately for mentioning suicide and other things that are a little unsavory. Personally, I've always liked Cornette and he's very knowledgeable and loves the business, but it's hard to defend some of his isms at times, regardless if they're figures of speeches or not. I'm the same as you, right? I respect Jim Cornette, and I understand that he is one of the, all-time greats when it comes to professional wrestling. Clearly very, very smart. Clearly has a bunch of good ideas. But you've hit the nail on the head. Much like some of the comments he comes out with that he just sees as, it's a figure of speech. I don't necessarily agree with his approach to wrestling either. And I think it's kind of because he's living in the past, which is fine. It doesn't make him a bad person or a good person. That's just where he chooses to live. But I don't agree with this thing he has that wrestling has to be super serious all the time. I like wrestling being dumb. And I like wrestling being serious. I like both. I don't ever think you should make light of suicide. I'm not saying you can't. Let me rephrase this. Obviously, some comedians make jokes about suicide, but really when you go through the joke, it won't be about suicide. It will be about something around suicide. And I felt like some of the times the things that Cornette jokes about are a little bit too on the nose. So yeah, I pretty much agree with you. What is going on? Massively respect him for what he's done and the mind he has for the type of wrestling he likes. But couldn't be further apart in terms of what modern wrestling has become or his opinion on Joey Ryan or Kenny Omega or the Bucks. And yeah, anything when you're mucking around about suicide ain't funny, man. Like suicide, when it comes to suicide especially, we can never put ourselves in these people's shoes. But imagine being in a situation where you just want to end your life. I mean, what do you have if you don't have your life, right? I'm a spiritual religious dude and I believe in all of that stuff. And I mean, in terms of the day to day, it's different being worried about money or your job or relationships, but thinking I don't even care, nothing funny about it. So yeah, I think sometimes he needs to just balance himself out a little bit and remember that he does have an audience and people will see what he says. Alain Sullivan, what do you see next for Prey? What feud would you like to see? For me personally, Bryan, Roman, then Braun at WrestleMania. I mean, look, the thing is, as we talked about on the podcast, I don't have any ideas. So I'll just agree with you. I don't necessarily like the idea of Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman at WrestleMania. That doesn't really feel like a WrestleMania sort of match for me. I don't mind him fighting Roman Reigns as long as he wins, but that's why I worry. I don't think he would win, and that kind of opens a whole barrel of worms. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, I think he will feud with The Miz next, just this inkling I've got, but I think he'll beat him, so that's fine. I don't mind it as long as he wins and gets momentum. And yeah, if he wants to beat Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, and Braun Strowman, I'd rather he fought Roman at WrestleMania and beat him there, but he won't. But I'd rather that because he'll get a bigger rub. It's difficult. I don't know what we do with Bray Wyatt. The Hell in the Cell to Crown Jewel debacle kind of changed everything. It's going to be really interesting, though. I guess I'm intrigued, and I want to see where it's going to go, so I guess that kind of works. Brock, how many holes does a straw have? 1. You're thinking I'm going to say 2, because it has a top bit and a bottom bit, but no, it only has 1, because the hole is long. Still only counts as 1 hole. I like that question. Nick C, hey Simon, I have a music recommendation for you this week. Power Glove. I think I know Power. I was laughing at the name, but now I'm like, I swear I know Power Glove. Yeah, they cover Nesty. I have heard of. They play metal. I've definitely heard of them before because they play. I knew it. They're a metal band that play Nesty. As you said, don't know if you've heard of them, but basically they're a heavy metal band that does covers of popular theme songs like X-Men, Batman, Transformers, and so on. They even do Under the Sea with Mark Hudson from Dragon Force on vocals. That's weird. I really think you'll like this band, so please check them out. Also, if you don't know, what's going on? Also, don't know if you're a Dragon Force fan or not, but on their recent album, they do a cover of My Heart Will Go On, and it's insanely good. They also did a cover of Ring of Fire. Dragon Force, I love them when the whole Guitar Hero thing blew up. I knew them before that anyway, but I thought that really helped them. I got tired of them very quickly just because they had a very similar approach to their music. And I like Guitar Wankery, but I don't necessarily want to listen to it all the time. I do respect them, and they smashed it. You know, they're a massive, massive band. I think they fell out a lot. But no, I'd say Dragon Force are okay. That's the way I'd describe them. But yeah, at one point I really did like them. My man Stan, Simon, first off, hope you're doing well, or at least on the road to being well again. Well, I kind of am. I get a lot of tests done every week. They're like, I don't know. I'll wait till I've got it and I'll just show you. I'm getting a device sent to the post I have to wear for a day soon. The joy. I know you thought nothing of it, but I really am sorry about how much of a downer I was last week. I was having a rough mental health week or two here. I have some time off next week, so I'm hoping this will recharge my power of positivity. Dude, never apologize about being down. You're allowed to be down. As we've always said on those videos, there's nothing wrong with being down. It would be preferable if you weren't, from a I hope you're okay point of view, but never beat yourself up or punish yourself if you have a bad day, because we all have bad days. Just like you say, ring it off, maybe book some time off for yourself, and then carry on to whatever's next. On a personal level, I'm now officially down over 40 pounds. Very close to 3 stone. And I got a new job at work that includes a significant pay rise. And most importantly, I'm working side by side with some of the very higher ups in the area of my company. It's an incredible opportunity to get some positive exposure. Dude, you're smashing it. 2019 is your year, Stan. We've only got about 6 weeks left, but I'm going to award 2019 to you. Just losing 40 pounds to begin with. Fair play, man. I started out in this company answering phone calls, and now 11 years later, I work from home full time and will be a significant part of helping to guide the entire product in the right direction. While 2019 has given me some challenge to my mental health, between that and my job, it's been an amazing year. Damn right it has, Stan. And there's nothing wrong. We all have a challenge with our mental health. Doesn't mean it's good that you are too, but look what else you're doing. The weight loss, I mean, that's absolutely going to help your overall demeanor anyway. A job where you're now in control and bossing it. Love hearing that stuff. Look, genuine smile, Matt. Love it. It's just me having to remind myself that even when I have those down times, I have so many things to be thankful and grateful for, trying to harness that Simon mindset. I mean, dude, I get down too, though, man. Like, it's not like I'm on top of the world all the time. I guess the difference is because I have somewhat of a platform. I hate saying that. I don't like to sound arrogant. Because I do have somewhat of a platform, a lot of what you see is not this kind of stuff, but ups and downs or joke videos. You know, I try and put across a happy, positive nature. But, you know, when the camera goes off sometimes, it's not an act, but it's my job, right? It's my job to put in that energy. And yeah, sometimes I turn off the camera and I slump down because, again, we're all human beings. I've been very excited with WWE. SmackDown was about as excited as we could have hoped for, and I just saw that interview with Shayna and Becky. That is how you build a compelling storyline. They need to let Becky do her stuff and stay out of her way. She can make most things gold. Agreed. And it was simple too. Never underestimate the power of a simple promo. With all the activity on Raw and SmackDown, I cannot wait to see what happens on NXT. You have been rightly pointing out how the main shows have done nothing to make you want to watch the next show. There's no doubt this week we have to watch the next show. Yep. And I think that was true with NXT because the ratings went up. They're only 20,000 behind AEW? I think we need a couple more weeks to see where we're going to fall out. But you're right, they did it. They gave you a carrot. They dangled a carrot. And that's all we need is damn dangling carrots. Yeah, I did watch NXT this week, flipping to AEW, and the crowd at AEW cannot be understated. It's so true. I watched NXT this week, and the AEW crowd was so loud, it makes NXT feel like it's, plan B. Even when AJ Styles comes out, they react. There's only a few hundred fans. AEW got 5,000 going crazy the whole time. They are a huge, huge plus to that show. A prediction, Dakota Kai heel turn. Shayna chooses her as the 4th member for War Games, thinking it might be a surprise. I'd be all right with that. I think it would freshen her up too. I watched AEW Dark for the first time. I was happy to see Sean Spears because I don't think he's been on Dynamite as of yet. Well, he was on Wednesday, but before that, no, you could be right. I don't know. I did enjoy it. There is something to be said about a 1-hour show. Hell yes. I have to say my only head-scratching moment was at the close of the show when they cut back to Tony and Dasher after Sean forced Joey's mouth open with pliers and made him eat a cigarette. Yes, that's a WWE and AEW trait. Because they're filming that separately, you don't get the reaction to it. We've got to stop doing it. We did it at Crown Jewel. We did it there. I meant to mention that on Ups and Downs, and I forgot because I'm an idiot. It's true. If they don't react, I'm like, did I see it? And you rewind it. It makes it feel fake. I totally agree with that. Different question for me. What are some of your favourite games any generation, but not ones that are really well known? A couple I used to love were Pirates for the Sega Genesis, Baseball Stars for the NES, and Valkyria Chronicles for the BS3. I like Valkyria Chronicles. Cheers, mate. You're in my thoughts, my friend, as you continue to get better. Stan, thank you, dude. I appreciate that, and you are in mine. Under the radar favourite games, RC Pro-Am on the NES is one I always go back to. It's made by Rare, and it was a remote control car game. I loved that. Super Tennis on the SNES with Mayor, whoever the hell his name was. To this day, how do you pronounce that? It was M-E-Y-E-R. Mayor name. How do you pronounce it? Mayor name, because I was obviously just a stupid kid. Mayor? I'm going to play it on YouTube. No, that's a bad idea. I'm not doing that. It's going to break up. I don't care. What else? Other game radar? I can't think of anything now. Kung Fu on the NES as well. They'd be my but they were also sort of formulative as I started to fall in love with games. So I imagine that is probably that probably ties in too. But yeah, I do like them. Lanaya in the super. No, we're doing Q&A. I thought I was doing the podcast. I'm tired. Hey, Simon, hope you're well. I would love to see more Power of Positivity's videos on YouTube. They are super helpful. I do need to start doing more of the mental health stuff. We haven't done them in a while. Done. I'll get on it. Next week, we'll bring them back. Undead in the chat as well. Oh, Simon, wake up in the thread. Hey, Simon, hope you're doing well this week. I loved AEW Dynamite. The ending was pure fire, and Cody's promo was one of the best all year, in my view. I agree. It was absolutely brilliant. I don't think it was the best promo I've ever heard in my life, as the internet has decided, but I appreciate their passion and I like their reaction. Had a very odd few weeks in my world. 3 weeks ago, a good friend of mine and my husband had a cardiac arrest. He's only 33 with a 1-year-old daughter. My word. And was put into an induced coma. 2 days later, the doctors told his wife and parents they wanted to wake him up to assess any brain damage. He had a seizure, and the doctor said that's not a good sign and they should prepare for the worst. 2 days later, they tried again, and he came around and recognized his wife and told her he loved her. They said he may not be able to walk for a while, and 2 days later, he was walking on the ward. This story has turned around, thank goodness. I was like, oh my gosh. He had an ICD fitted in case he has arrest again, but 3 weeks after nearly dying, he's at home with his wife and baby. Stuff like this just makes me think how much life means to us. I have health issues that can't be cured, and I deal with it every day, and I try not to let it define me. Good for you. But this has flawed me as the guy was healthy. I want to live my best possible life, even though it's not always easy. I fought, and so far I'm winning. Sorry for the long post. Never say sorry for the long post. You're a Q&A member, Patreon thing. You can go on for as long as you want. Yeah, I mean, look, I certainly didn't go through that, but I can empathize with the guy. Again, that's far worse than what I went through. I'm never going to try and go like for like and compare myself. But that's kind of what happened to me. Like, I woke up not being able to breathe and all these things going on. I had to rush to A&E, and as it turned out, they found what was wrong, and now there's some other complications. But thankfully, I guess a bit like yourself, as you've mentioned, I'm just dealing with them in the moment and hoping that we can figure out what's going on. But certainly something that I took out of even something small like that was you forget. We all walk around feeling like we're immortal because you have to. You have to live your life that way, otherwise you go crazy. But really, that's not what life is all about. When you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, and you don't know what's around the corner. And it's a skill in itself to learn, but we do need to appreciate here what it's 2:48 on a Friday. We just need to appreciate 2:48 on a Friday. And when it gets to 2:49, we should appreciate that. Because there are no guarantees. I mean, stuff like that is crazy. You're right, he was healthy, from what you said, not into... Because sometimes, this sounds terrible, but if you see a news story like this, you almost want the story to finish, oh, by the way, they did a bunch of cocaine. Because you're like, okay, cool, I just stay away. But it's not my bag anyway, drugs never were. But I'd be like, I just won't do that. But when it just happens, it could be any one of us. And it is terrifying, but the good news is he was all right. Obviously, young family, that's the worst thing that could have happened. So, and I say it's not a nice end to the story, because you'd rather the story wasn't there to begin with. But yeah, all the best to him. And I hope you're doing okay too, because there's always a knock-on effect from that. Of course, it's worse for him, but like you've said, mentally it gets you too. So I hope you're doing all right. Things to do with your channel. I'm sure you can guess I'm going to say. Music vid reactions to some of those bands I sent you. I'm even thinking of making a Simon Miller Spotify list. Do it. I'll get on it. Much love as always. Keep being awesome and enjoy Full Gear. Of course, 2 days away from Full Gear. No, tomorrow, Saturday. Yeah, we're doing ups and downs for that as well. Plus ups and downs for SmackDown. I'm away this weekend. I'll be taking my video equipment with me. No, I don't mind. I really don't mind. There was one other question actually on the Facebook, which I should go and find. I meant to have this open before we started, as you probably figured out. Where is it? There you are, my man. Have you had any pay-per-view events that have been your favourite because you spent the evening with friends watching? What pay-per-view was it, and what did you do? Was there lots of food? It was the Raw Rumble, the first Raw Rumble that Randy Orton won. Let me see if I can find it, because we were all upset. We were like, that's crap. 2009? It probably was 2009. Yeah, 10 years ago. Yeah, it was Raw Rumble 2009. I went to my friend Aaron Asadi's house, who I barely even talked to anymore. He was a work friend. He was a real friend, but, more of a work friend. And yeah, I can't remember what we ate and we did, but there was like 8 of us. And it was great. It was a lot of... That's the last... I should say it was my favourite one, but that's the last time I can remember doing it. Because I just remember that Randy Orton won. We were like, oh, really? We wanted a big surprise. I never really watched pay-per-views anybody. When I was growing up, I didn't have many wrestling friends. You're my wrestling friends now. So when we do like live reaction videos, although I'm barely on them anymore, that's my watching wrestling with friends. And on that note, I'll leave you to it. Keep an eye on the YouTube channel. In the next sort of 20 minutes, you can probably figure out what it was. I recorded a quick podcast with someone you're all familiar with to make up for all the craziness that went on. Hopefully planning to do a little dumb video later too, but time is kicking my ass. But either way, have great weekends. Look out for the thread next week. Thank you as always for joining in. And yeah, just thank you for supporting me. As I say all the time, if you guys didn't support me, my wrestling would go in the toilet, all my video stuff would go in the toilet, and I have to rethink my life. And that's pretty cool. So that's down to you. I appreciate it, and I love you all.